Hello. Good. Put it on. Hello. Okay. We are waiting for 2 more minutes, okay, because it's here in Kostroma, where I am, it's 4:58 and now 59. So I guess it would be good to wait a little bit. Oh, hello, Eugene. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the webinar. I don't believe we've met, not even on cyberspace. I am Svetlana, and I represent LRN, which is a learning resource network, which is a British national awarding organization that organizes and promotes English exams, which are recognized everywhere and accepted in a lot of institutions around the world. So I've been working on the promotion and in many other aspects of exam preparation, exam assessment, and many other things. So I'm organizing this webinar today to show you guys, the strategies that we could use to prepare our students for this exam, right? Well, the good news is that because LRN exam is based on what is called CEFR, which is the Common European Framework for Languages. Basically, this commission has set standards for foreign language assessments, not only of English, but many other languages, at least the European languages. So, and they have split the knowledge and skills into 6 levels, starting from A1, you might be aware, and A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, representing the proficiency level. So, but it doesn't mean that this is it. C2, by the way, still doesn't prepare you well enough to be able to, study your specialty at university. Not even IELTS can prepare you for this. So there is always extra learning, extra things to do anyway. But today we're going to talk about I've been asked to talk about the B2 level. Okay, a few things about the B2 level. In fact, B2 is like B2 level in Cambridge is called FCE. B2 in Pearson, I believe it's called B2. So this is a level of language skills considered well enough for a student, for an applicant for a university to apply and to join university. So this person with a B2 level is considered knowledgeable enough, skillful enough to join a university and understand what's requested and to fulfill all the assessments and tasks at least in English universities, right? So according to the CEFR, right, the B2 level in all the exams I've mentioned today, like Cambridge, Pearson, LRN, and many others, it's basically the level when a student is competent enough to talk about his immediate surroundings and his larger surroundings, to express abstract ideas and to talk about different events, but still not, it doesn't know the vocabulary. So the B2 is someone who knows all the grammar of English language, whatever there is, to be able to speak and to be understood by the native speakers. The only difference between B2 and the higher levels like C1 and C2 is the vocabulary. So this person is probably not so skillful in expressing, talking about different topics, scientific topics or political topics, right, mainly. The news, for example, is not really skillful, but Still, B2 is considered a high level for somebody to live in a foreign culture and to study, okay? Study at, to begin studying at university, okay? Hello, Inna, nice to see you too. Well, so let me share my screen. Let's talk about the exam, so let's go. If you have any questions, by the way, you're welcome to write in the chat section. You can see it, you can find it on your screen. So you can, or you can unmute yourself and talk to everybody here. So I believe you all see my screen, which is an exam paper from 2016. This is, by the way, this is the logo of LRN, for those who haven't seen it yet. Okay, and so here it says CEF B2. Okay, let's see. Well, again, because the exam follows the Common European Framework, we've got 4 sections in this exam. The listening goes first, then we've got writing, and then reading comprehension and use of English. The speaking part is usually done separately. It can be on the same day. It can be on the same day, but it can be on a different day, okay? I've got somebody's checking through in the chat. Oh yes, hello. Okay, great. So let me continue. Can I just say a few words before we go through the paper? Since I think we're all teachers here, right? So when you approach exam preparation, please, with the LRN, it's actually easier than with the others. Maybe you don't, I mean, Julie and Inna know me. Like, I've been an exam expert, like I've been teaching and examining for Cambridge, for City and Guilds exams, for GRE, the American exam, IELTS, a lot of IELTS. I've done even TEFL teaching, preparing the teachers for the international certificate. So what I can say from only my experience is that preparation for the LRN is more or less the same. But the thing is that because LRN exam parts are considered one module only, the assessment of the exam is based on 50, like the pass rate for the LRN is 50% of the total score. So if the score of the exam B2 is 100 points, 100 correct answers. So if a person scores 50, regardless of whether he scored a high mark in some part and really, like he was really not good in some other part, like he scored really poorly, it doesn't matter. The LRN exam is assessed with a pass if a person scores 50 correct answers out of 100. The philosophy behind it is that basically the test you will see, it's made in such a way that the parts are basically connected with each other. So if somebody is like, we're all different, right? We've got 8 intelligences. So it's inevitable that somebody is going to be really good at reading because he likes reading. And people who are, well, I mean, I could say like introverts are really not in for talking so much, or we're all different. So some people cannot reveal their potential at the exam, no matter how much the examiner tries, okay? Yeah. So that's why LRN accepts the 50% of score regardless of the part. Okay, so today we're going to go quickly through the listening, then the writing and the reading and use of English and the speaking. The positive and very beneficial of, like the most beneficial of all this is probably the fact that, like, is because I've been an examiner, and I've been a test assessor and a tester myself. So I can, like, I've never had this experience with the exams that I've been preparing before. Like, I didn't know really 100% what is that the examiner thinking about when he's checking the written paper and the speaking. But because now I've been to all this, I kind of have seen it from the inside. So maybe that's good that, like, you know, I can gladly share with you this kind of thing. So let's go through the listening first. Let's see the cover page first. So B2 test has got the listening and writing and reading and use of English materials in this paper. The listening lasts 30 minutes, which is going to be a recording basically, right? Then 2 hours at once, the writing and reading. Okay, we've got instructions on the cover page as well, like what pencil to use, how to do this, not to pay attention what you're writing on the margins, like they're not going to be assessed anyway. The student has to transfer all the marks on the answer sheet and stuff like this. So there are some instructions, but I could say, like, from now that since the exam preparation on the side of the school is like, okay, this is there are small things that need to be done. We've got an instruction for schools that would make it easier for them to avoid mistakes and problems at the day of the exam. So we've got instructions for teachers, invigilators, and for speaking assessors, of course, and for the students. Okay, so don't worry about this. You don't need to worry. And let's go to listening section 1. All I need probably to mention that we've got 3 sections in the listening. We start with 9 short conversations here. It's notable that all the parts in the listening in LRN are played twice. So the strategy for this is like, okay, they also have 2 minutes to look at the paper. So the section 1, the speaker announces like everything what is written here. And then there are 2 minutes that the students can look at the points at the letters and at the multiple choice questions. So, well, we all know what the strategy is here. While they have these 2 minutes, the student take the pencil and start marking the key words in all the questions. So, for example, I've got here the first dialogue is going to be, it's at the doctor. So I concentrate, the doctor advises the woman to, so advises, that's my key word. So I am looking for advice of the doctor. So take some medicine, stay at home for a few days, visit him in 2 days. So visit, stay home, medicine, that would be my keywords here. Okay, so I underline them, okay, as a student, okay? So you teach your students to look for keywords in these 2 minutes, okay? Then, because I still have the 2 minutes, I go down, the next one is going to be planning their holiday. So, what is true about Sophie? So, obviously true is about Sophie, is the keywords. So, she likes crowded beaches. She agrees with the man's suggestion. She will be busy in June. Okay, what are the keywords? I mean, crowded beaches, yeah. And then man's suggestion, agree. So I underline these keywords again, and so on. We go this for the next dialogue and the next one, and then we come here to number 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I underline what to look for while I'm going to listen. Okay, so after the 2 minutes are over, we've got the first recording played twice. Every section is played twice, every conversation. So firstly, the student probably teach them to, like, okay, now that you've marked the keywords, like, sit and relax, listen the first time, get the idea, like, what is it they're talking about, okay? And when it's played again, listen see for the clues that you've marked and the clues on the recording, okay? So that's it. That's the strategy here. Listening, the fact that they listen twice is really, really nice. And the fact that listening is number 1 is also very good, because I remember taking Cambridge exam once. I had to take it to have the teacher's license in Greece. So I remember at 3 p.m. when the listening part was finally started, I was an experienced teacher, okay? I was like, I already been teaching. I was so tired, I couldn't concentrate anymore. Like, okay, I did score nicely, but still I felt confused many times. So the listening is the first. So this is another positive thing about the LRN test. Okay, so once the recordings are played twice, the audio, the speaker says, okay, listening section 2, listen to 3 longer conversations. So this time it's going to be 3 longer conversations. Okay, also the questions 10 to 15. So please pay attention. 10 to 15 are all here. Okay, so, okay, good. They're all on this page. And now the students have 1 minute to read the questions. Right, okay. So while they have this 1 minute, again, they're reading and underlining with a pencil for the cues, for the clues, like this. This is going to be, this is possible. Like, for example, let's see here. David doesn't want to, doesn't want. So that's an important word. That not he wants, what he doesn't want. Go on city tour, keyword. Breakfast early, like breakfast early, keywords. Visit sites. Okay, anyway, so it's kind of short anyway. Yeah. So that would be easy to read. So again, this time the listening to, the only difference is that the 3 longer conversations, each conversation has got 2 questions for each one. So students, like, but they're in order. So once you see the first point, like point number 10 was already discussed by the audio, right? So you know that now you have to move and look at the question number 11, and you look for the answer on the recording. Okay, so that's it, guys. I mean, there's nothing else to explain here, I guess. And the section 3 is a message. So this is the longest piece. It's got 5 questions. So again, the candidates have 1 minute to look at this, underline the keywords, and listen once just to get a general idea, and listen the second time, just be more concentrated on the key questions, key points, okay? Okay, that's it. This is the listening. It lasts about 30 minutes. The B1, which is a lower level, the listening in B1 is also 30 minutes. But as for C1 and C2, the listenings get a little longer, like 35 minutes only. So that's it. And immediately after this, basically, the writing part begins. See how it begins. At the end, while the student listen twice, okay? So they go now to the writing section 1, which is the next page, okay? They need to open the writing booklet where the space with the, lined sheets of paper for them to start writing, basically. But there is one very sweet thing here. So that's the task 1. And see how it begins. Listen to Mary's message to her friend, Kate, again. So basically, now the third section of the listening is played again, the third time, okay? But as a part of the writing task this time. So it's an email where she tells about a surprise party or something like this. About the surprise party. So while the candidates listen for the third time, they have, here is a small space that they can jot some notes. Okay, they can jot notes about the listening. So they listen it the third time, basically, right? And they write some points. We've got prompts for them, like what activities to do at the seaside, how to see the city sights, what to do at the night. So these are the prompts, what to listen to, basically. What are the ideas that are like is advisable to appear on the writing part, okay? So this is the space for them to write any notes, anything they want, that's it. The way they write and what they write, and if they doodle, and if they do anything, write in their own native language, it doesn't matter. This part is not assessed. So this is, and then, so while they do this, finished, the recording is stopped, the CD player is put aside. And now, now they have to write an email, as you see in the instructions, an email to a friend of yours, telling him or her about the best place the two of you could go for a long weekend break, like 3 days, 4 days break. Okay, so the candidates are welcome to use the ideas they have just written about based on the listening part 3, but they're not restricted to use only them. They can use their own ideas all together. It doesn't matter. So in the writing booklet, they can write, they have to stick to the point though, they have to write an email, a friend, about the place to do and where to go on a long weekend break. That's it. That's the topic now, right? So they can use the ideas about the surprise party and transfer them for their own small writing production about the long weekend break with a friend, okay, in the writing booklet. Okay, so this is it. So now that we are in the writing part of the test, I am sure like what needs to be, what you need to know is like B2 level. On the B2, we've got all kinds of writing tasks, emails to friends, friendly emails, friendly letters, storytelling, and essay. Okay, so we begin introducing essay, for and against, and personal opinion essay mainly. So that's it. The structure of the writing task is it's very rigid. So it's basically, it appears to be the same in all the Cambridge exams, Pearson, Sitting Guilds, and everywhere else. So you have an introduction, which is a short paraphrase of the topic, if it's an essay especially, and then you make sure you use paragraphing. So now I can talk about from my experience. I've been assessing compositions because this is the part a machine cannot assess. So what the examiners are looking at in the compositions of your students. Firstly, a nice introduction. So teach your students to use even some key phrases, some set phrases. Let it be the same phrase. Let them, like I've seen students using the same phrase in the writing part 1 and the writing part 2, but it's okay. So they know some set phrases and they go on from there. So the assessors, the testers are looking at the paragraphing, number 1, use of linking devices and transition words like meanwhile, what is more, firstly, in a nutshell, to sum up, these words. So teach your students, whenever they start a paragraph, it's good to decorate it with a small accessory called a linking device, okay? And whenever they change, like if they want to illustrate what they've just said, tell them to use another linking device, which is like, for example, or to explain, for instance, for example, and stuff like this. So, and then the next paragraph again begins with a linking device, and also teach your students to use topic sentences. Well, again, many of you maybe know this. The topic sentence is the topic that follows exactly after the linking device. The topic sentence summarizes what you're going to mention in this paragraph altogether. So like in the books, if you read books and you read the first sentence many times, you know what the paragraph is going to be about. The same is for the compositions in B2. So this is what the testers are looking at: the paragraphing, the linking devices, the topic sentence, okay? Another thing that the examiners are looking at is whether they stick to the point, they stick to the topic. They're not straying to talk about something which is similar, but not exactly the topic. This is penalized, basically, okay? So make sure they are sticking to the topic. They don't write what they want to. What else? I'm trying to remember what else we've been talking about, that these long sessions of checking papers. Another thing, grammar and lexis are only one of the 4 parts of the assessment sheet. So the first thing is the general impression. So in order to create a general positive impression, is what I said, the sentence is structured, the handwriting is easy to read as much as possible, of course, okay? So it's structured, very nice paragraphs, okay? And then the conclusion, right? So, and it's easy to read, okay? The next one is whether the candidate the composition is to the point. It's basically discusses the task. It's not something else. Then there is grammar and lexis. So usually the students who are making spelling mistakes, like who doesn't, right? So they're not really penalized so much. Unless there are too many. And again, if your students believe to have dyslexia or dysgraphia or whatever, they need to provide a paper. So the testers, they have a list with students who are suffering from some kind of, like a small, they are special in some way, right? So they see, and they're not so hard on those, even less hard, I would say, on those who have got small issues with their learning, okay? So that's it. And then what is number 4? Cohesion. So the way it is structured, so we've got the flow of the compositions, okay? So that's it. So the way the B2 is like this. So that's it. I don't believe I have anything else to tell you. So that's it. Now, this is part 1. The writing has part 2. Section 2 is, sorry, this is still number 1. Okay, so this is the topic. So right here. So writing section 2 is a choice of between 3 tasks. So a student is free. Everyone can choose one of the 3 topics: a letter, a story, and an essay. So usually it's like this. Many of them choose to write a letter because they think it's the easier one, or maybe it is. It doesn't matter. Sometimes easier topics are more difficult to disclose, to reveal what you want to say. Again, if you notice, we've got prompts. So for a letter to a cousin about a new friend, you've got, every student has got some ideas to what to talk about. Okay, so they can use them freely. About the story, okay, there are no prompts. It's your free flight of thoughts. You can write whatever you want. I'd like to share with you one of the compositions for this winter exam in 2019 was describe a funny incident that happened to you. Okay, what I could say is almost everybody, like 80-90% of the compositions I've checked were about breaking a leg or breaking an arm. I don't know why this teenagers considered it a funny incident. Everybody were like perplexed. We were like looking at each other. What is going on? So they think it's funny. So what can we do, right? Okay, and now the essay. How important it is for young people to play sports. So these are the points the students can use and mention in essay writing, okay? Again, all of them are probably worth a paragraph, so they can choose and use them, or they just don't write something else, right? They don't use these ones, they use their own ideas. Next. So, and after this, right when they finish writing, the students work at their own pace. There is no stop, like that's it. Like at Cambridge, you have to stop. That's it. Your writing task is over, finish, submit the papers. No, while somebody works fast, others don't. So while they're not limited by time for their writing task, so somebody who is very fast and knows what to write, he can finish and start the reading part immediately whenever he wants. So the reading part. We've got sections again. Now, the reading tactics for exams are, again, I would say they are common. We've got, let's see firstly the parts. So section 1 is this magic of the cinema. And the next page are the eight questions based on this text. So let's see firstly what we can do about the text. Again, I believe it's a very good strategy I've read about on the internet. You firstly skim read. What does it mean? You read fast. What is it going to be? What is it going to be about? Like watching films. So teach your students to read fast to get to grasp the general idea of the text. Okay, to see what is it, an opinion? Is it a story? Is it a biography? So they read it quickly, and then they see the questions. And again, teach them to read the questions and the possible answers, and underline, probably, like use their pencil. This is it, this is it. And then students go back to the text and read in more detail. So because the questions for every part are placed in the one order, in the same order, like from the beginning of the test, the questions go, they're not mixed. So once the student answers the question number 1, so good, this is going to be in the beginning of the text, obviously. The answer to the question number 2 is going to be a bit down, to closer to the end of the text, and so on. So once they do this, perfect. Once they find the answer for the first part, they can, again, underline the keywords in text, and they go and they look at question 2, like, what is it that they want in the part 1? Which of the following statements is false? Okay, children like watching films more than adults. You can relax watching a film. In the past, most people watched films at the cinema. So once you answer that, somewhere here, the answer is somewhere here, then you start thinking, let's go read question number 2. I read it, okay, this is it. I go back to the text and look for the answer. This is one of the ways to approach reading comprehension. Well, if you know any others, fantastic, because there are really many. That's it. So once they finish with this, there's section 2, which consists of 2 parts. Again, these are just texts. Mind you, the texts for B2 are not magazine articles yet. They are adapted from magazine articles, or different stories, different encyclopedias, but adapted definitely. Okay. Again, so the only difference is the way it is placed on the page. So the text is now on the left, and the questions are on the right. So I guess it's easier to read like this, yeah? So you see the questions and you see the text and you look for the answers. So this was about the public transport. And the next text in the reading section 2 is disadvantages of public transport. So it's, again, we're on the topic of public transport here, and we've got text and the questions next to them, right? And then we move to the use of English, which is grammar and vocabulary. Well, as I've mentioned before, the grammar for B2 basically covers the grammar studied at B2 is everything about English grammar. There is nothing else basically that we can teach at level C1 and C2. So we've got all possible combination of tenses, all possible word formations, transformation, everything is just in here. The participles, the gerunds, the infinitives, the perfect infinitives, everything. Modals plus perfect infinitives, everything is in this, in the grammar for B2. Okay, so that's it. Have a look if you like, if you want. Now, so closer to the end of the use, you can see vocabulary points. Yes. Okay. So another positive thing is there are only 3, the choice is out of 3, 1 of 3. So it's always 33% of correct answers, right? Okay, and the last part of the use is the clause, which is, again, you've got 3 options to choose from to fill in the gaps in the text, okay? Again, it would be probably good to read what it is all about, but maybe not. Like if you know, like they prefer like to be, right? So they know the grammar. So there's some of these are grammar phenomena and the others are lexical things, okay? So basically that's it. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the test. Now, the speaking. Let me see. I need to find the speaking. So, anything else I've forgotten? No. Now let's see the speaking syllabus. Where was I? 1 second. Nope. Speaking. All right, that's the speaking instructions. Okay, you see this? So on another day, as I said, or the same day, depending on the circumstances, we can have the speaking part as well. So again, here I can share with you the things that I've been taught to do in my practice as an assessor. Please also, this is a good chance to tell to you all that some of you are already speaking assessors. So we've been, this is considered one of the additional qualifications. So I'm sure you are here because you are striving to perfect your skills, your teaching skills, your communication skills, and everything's what is concerning English language, okay, and teaching practice. Make your life more like your teaching practice and your life in the classroom more enjoyable for you and the kids. Right. But you know what? My next webinar is going to be about the professional improvement, professional qualifications, and the way you can, the career paths and where you can proceed after you are a qualified teacher. Okay, there are other things you can do to always to improve and get additional qualifications. But as I said, it's going to be next time. So let's go to the speaking part. The speaking part is like this. This is a paper that the student doesn't receive. This is what the candidate, the assessor, has in his hands when the two candidates are approaching. They're getting inside the exam room and they're sitting in front of you, and you start the speaking part for them. So let's see how it is structured. Right. Okay, there are 3 parts in the speaking. The speaking for B2 lasts approximately 15 minutes for 2 people. 2 people usually go inside, or 3 people. It's never one person on his own. The reason for this is that LRN believes that the speaking production is not only the way a person the speech he can produce, but also the way he interacts with other people in English. So interaction, the way you can communicate, you can liaise, you can object, you can argue with the other person in English. These are very important skills. They're very practical skills in all the possible ways. So 3 parts, 3 sections in speaking. The first one is the warm stage. So nothing strange here. We've got a set of questions. The students introduce themselves, and then the examiner asks them very simple things: where are they from, what they like about their neighborhood, about their working or studying, school environment, about their hobbies, right? Not about the family. We're not asking about the family because there are sensitive matters there. So that's it. The students, basically the idea for this section 1 is for the students to overcome the stress of, the fact that they are coming for an exam. Many of them are very nervous. And the examiner asking simple questions, something they've been, they know for a long time, allows them to sit and breathe a little bit before they can produce better speech and make a better speech production further in the speaking exam. Okay, so you see here, we ask about hobbies, free time activities, school, hometown, neighborhood, and future plans, okay? And then the examiner says, okay, let's move to section 2. Okay, look at this. Now for the section 2, we've got 5 topics. 1, what is the most interesting travel experience you have ever had? 2, what do you use your computer for? 3, who do you like spending your free time with and why? 4, what clothes do you prefer to wear and why? And number 5, what would you like to change in your city and town and why? So why are these 5 topics and where do they get them from? The thing is that throughout the year and the preparation for, throughout the study process, using the books which are available on the market, the students cover a lot of topics. Some of them are these 5, right? But there are also quite a few more. And LRN also publishes 20 topics at the beginning of the year or anytime, like it's called the speaking syllabus. I'm going to show it to you. For every level. So for the B2, there are approximately 20 topics to study. And a week before the exam, the speaking exam, LRN issues 5 topics out of the 20 that will appear at the exam for the students to decide which one they would like to talk about for 1 minute. So section 2 in the speaking is a monologue of every participant on his own, on her own. They choose one of the topics, they study it carefully, they prepare a monologue for 1 minute at B2, as you see. At B2 there is 1 minute monologue. It's a long, actually, monologue, to tell you the truth. For the B2 students, it's quite a big piece of, speaking production. So they learn it by heart, of course. I mean, naturally welcome. And they provide arguments in favor and against. They can share their own personal experience. It depends on them. So they show, basically the students can show off what they have studied, the vocabulary they have covered, and the way they can present something which is a prepared speech from before, okay? But this is not finished. So this is not the only thing in the part 2 of the speaking. While the student A, let's say, is delivering his monologue, the student B listens carefully and listens carefully for the key ideas, because after the 1 minute is over, he will have to interact with student A about what he or she has just said. So yes, I agree with Konstantin. The smoking is very dangerous, or like stuff like this. And then he could probably say, like, but do you think that teachers and schools should do something more about, or in my opinion, schools also have to do some extra activities to prevent smoking in the backyards of the schools, something. So there is interaction, and again, the interaction is 1 minute between the students. The assessor prompts it, so the assessor puts them to talk to each other, to discuss. Also, if the student is not confident enough, the assessor can prompt the person who delivers the monologue to talk about something else. So it's usually like this: student A deliver monologue, a couple of questions from examiner, then the discussion with the candidate B. And after this, it's vice versa. The candidate B delivers his prepared speech, then the assessor asks questions, and the candidate A discuss the thing for 1 minute. So as you can see, the part 2 is 6-7 minutes. Yeah, it's 6-7 minutes. Okay. So 3 and 3 minutes, basically, yes. So 6 minutes is a long time. Well, in order to organize all this, we match the students in pairs, because they tell us which topics they are going to talk about. So we match the pairs. So both of them have different topics to talk about, not one topic. Like student A and B talk about one thing, like question number 1. This is not possible, okay? So we match them with different questions. So you could say, so yeah, this is part 2 is very easy. So I prepare my speech and that's it. I don't have to talk about, I don't have to think about even the rest of the 4 topics, right? The rest of the 5. So this is not true. You know why? Because you don't know what your partner at the exam going to talk about, because you don't know who is going to be your pair. It could be, if you do number 1, your partner can be 2, 3, 4, or 5. So you have to also comment and discuss what he has talked about. So in order to do this, you have to prepare for all the 5 topics really, really thoroughly. That's it. And the last part 3, is again 5 to 6 minutes, which is roughly the same as part 2. Now this time, the assessor gives each candidate in turns one of the 5 questions. So for example, okay, Elena, can you answer question number 1? And Elena she gets this sheet and she reads what the question number 1 is about. And she also reads, these are the prompts for candidates to dwell on, to base their argument on, or disregard them altogether. It doesn't matter. But usually they do. So if they want to, the disadvantages of traveling either in your country or abroad. So it's something, again, connected with the 5 topics we've been talking about in section 2, but a bit more specific question on this topic. So this time, ladies and gentlemen, it is their free, unprepared speech. So this time the examiner sees, okay, section 2, prepared speech, section 3, unprepared speech. So the examiner can compare whether the question was answered, what was the general impression, or what was the grammar, lexis, and so on. So it's going to be obvious anyway, the way the student, his fluency, and the way he manipulates the words and vocabulary. He finds words really easily, not like me today. So this is an honest and sincere answer. So nothing can, it's obvious. The student's knowledge and skills are in front of the assessor, without any pretense, without any, what do I say here? They're obvious anyway. So, and then again, while this candidate B, for example, answers question number 1, the candidate A is invited to discuss. So they interact again. And then the candidate A is asked to answer any other of the 5 questions. So the candidate A speaks, uses the prompts, uses his or her own experience, and then candidate B is again prompted to interact, to agree or disagree, to ask questions, to express opinion, and so on. So that's it. That's 15 minutes, and this is the end of the test. Okay. Now, let me show you, I had my... just a minute. I had the speaking syllabus somewhere here. Sorry about this. I've prepared that speaking syllabus, but look at this. It's gone. No, I know where I had it. Yes, here it is. Sorry. So let's see. So this is another paper that LRN issues. LRN B1 topics for January 2018. Let's see the topics for B2, right? I can send you these topics, by the way. Okay, the B1 again. Okay, and let's see. The B1. Okay, let's go. B2. Topics for January 2000. This is not interesting. January is gone by. Okay, and B2. For the spring, for the June. Okay, well, spring summer session. We're going to be leisure and hobbies. One of these. Then environment. These questions. One of them basically, right? Lifestyle. Okay, trying new things, satisfaction when accomplishing something challenging, then outdoor adventures, and stuff like this, and friendships, about friendships, misunderstandings with friends, what if you have nothing in common with friends and stuff. Advertising, as you see. So, and like advertisement encouraging children to eat junk food and stuff. The environment, we've got topics about television programs, about environment, TV violence, idols and role models for children, entertainment. Did I say environment? Oh, sorry, it's entertainment. Oh my God. Okay, the next one is probably technology, education, hometown, sports, like this. Okay, so this is the speaking syllabus. Entertainment again, technology, and so on. So these are the topics that you can usually see at the B2 level. There's nothing new about it. Okay, I can send you this, the syllabus if we are really going for it. You're preparing students and you would like me to hold mock exams. I'm gonna stop sharing, okay, to see if somebody's writing for me. So right here. So please, you're welcome. Welcome to discuss. Anything here. Okay. I know that the exam session, the first exam session for spring, is going to be scheduled for the 20th of April in Russia and Kazakhstan. Okay, but there is also a possibility to sit the exam on the 8th of June and the 22nd of June, I believe. So if you're not ready to prepare, or your students are not ready, it's okay. We can prepare them for the latest sessions within the year. And of course, the next sessions are going to be at the end of November, the very beginning of December. Okay, so you have time. So if you need past papers, practice tests, to see how mock interviews are happening, please visit our site. We've got a new site. I'll write it. Solutions.ru. You see? Accreditation. Just a second. This site, accreditationsolutions.ru, this is our company and our site where you can find the teaching material, practice material, all the information about the syllabus, the mock interviews. Also, you can find our past webinars where like the presentation of LRN, what the exams are all about, what are the benefits, and how to prepare, and another how to develop your professional skills as teachers, like how to prepare for the TESOL exam, International Teacher Certificate, administered by LRN as well. So all this information, please visit our site, leave your comments. My email, I'm writing my email for you. So if you have anything you would like to ask, some extra, probably extra past papers, extra practice tests, maybe you would like me to talk again to directors of your, institutions wherever you're teaching. If you want, you're more than welcome. Okay. I can also, what we're going to do is we're going to hold sessions for speaking assessors. So basically, these are the sessions that some of you have seen already, where we discuss the way to become speaking assessors of the speaking part of the test. So those who want to participate get a certificate for that from LRN and can be examiners anywhere else in the world, wherever the LRN is going. And by the way, the good news of LRN is that it's been accepted in a short list of exams advised for the immigration authorities. So in all the embassies in the world, anybody could go and take the test at the embassy, which is a great thing, great news for us. So there, Anything else? So basically that's it. The most important thing about LRN exams is that the pass grade is calculated on the basis of 50% of correct answers on the test, including all the parts, okay, without any preference to any part. The exam is, the listening is played twice, which is a very good thing. And you could always ask me about, again, like how to write the compositions, how to prepare students for different kinds of compositions, and how to prepare for the speaking. You're also welcome to have sessions online with some of your candidates if you want me to have a look and listen to them, the way they prepare, the way they speak. They're more than welcome. I could organize this, and I'm always, I'm always there to help you. Okay, so, well, what do you think? Okay, would you like me to talk about something else? Something like I have omitted, something I forgot to mention? Please go ahead and ask me, okay? You know where you can do this, right? Unmute. Hello, Julie. Hello, Ina. I'm unmuting you for any case, okay? Unmute. Eugene, hi. Okay, Ina is writing to me. That's great. Lana, please send us extra exam papers for our teachers. The extra exam papers, the level B2, is that what you mean? Yeah? B2 level? Hello, Halima. Nice to see you. Do you have any questions, darling? For the B2 and B1. Okay, sure. Let me jot a note. I've got some past papers on my, I believe, you know what? The thing is that if you look at the website Accreditation Solutions and see if we've uploaded the text that the test you haven't seen. The thing is that I'm traveling, and I will be traveling for the next 10 days. I don't have access to my computer where I have some tests, but you know what? I could ask to send me in the email, and I'll forward them to you as soon as I can. I'm going to request some past papers, some extra past, like for example, the past papers from 2019, right? We've had the winter session. So here you go. Past papers. Let me write. Okay, that's it. We're going to talk about the next webinar is going to be about the next webinar is going to be about how to become a center. So if you represent a school or you are thinking of organizing a school, or you can organize a center without having the physical building, okay? All these questions about the organization, the way you could administer the exam, so organize, send the announcements, organizing the day of the exam, how to make it fast, the logistics of the exam preparation and the exam day. I am planning to have the webinar next Wednesday. Like I'm going to be in Istanbul, but I will have time to talk with everybody, like how to organize the day of the exam. Okay. Yes, past papers 2018 for sure. I'm gonna be sending them. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for a couple of 1 minute, maybe you have some more questions. Anyway, even if the webinar is over and you want to talk about something else, please write to me on my email, okay? Always more than welcome. LRN has been in Russia for about 2 years. We've been doing exams, and now that we are still in the beginning, we've got great offers for your students. We've got great benefits for you as teachers. Not only like for your professional, for development of your professional skills, some ideas for your marketing and networking that is basically going to draw crowds to your establishment, but also financial benefits, because LRN is like happy to share the profits with you. So all our teachers and our satellite centers getting commission from the exams. How about that? We've got other opportunities because we're having exam sessions in Greece and in Cyprus in June, which you might be well aware of. It's a high season, so you can come, you become a speaking assessor, and you come to participate in the exam session in June and make some money, right, on the day of the exam, and get some suntan on the side. Okay, see some places, enjoy the Mediterranean hospitality and stuff like this, okay? All right, so enough of me chit-chatting. I better get going then. Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure. I'm getting used to talking on my own, looking at the metal box. But still, okay, let's see you soon again, okay? I love the weather in Russia. It's snowing outside my window. Okay, so see you soon. Bye-bye.